Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today? Today, I'm going to read you a story. It's called Bugs for Lunch. Have you ever had bugs for lunch? Probably not. Let's look in my story and see who likes to eat bugs. My author is Margery Facklam. Do you remember what the author does? You're right. The author writes the words in my story. Let's see who the illustrator is. It's illustrated by Sylvia Long. What does the illustrator do? Did you guess it? The illustrator draws the pictures. Now let's read our story. Here's my title again, Bugs for Lunch. If your lunch was a bug, who could you be? Maybe a nuthatch at work in a tree. What is a nuthatch? You're right, it's this bird right here. He wants to eat those caterpillars that are on the log. Can you see them? Don't be frightened. It's okay. It's a spider. Maybe a spider trapping a fly. All right, that spider sure likes to eat bugs for lunch. Let's see what's next. Ready? It's a bat, or a bat catching bugs as it cruises the sky. Did you know that bats like to eat bugs for lunch? I bet you know what this one is. You're right, it's a gecko. You might be a gecko. Remember, a gecko is another word for a lizard. Let's see what's next. Did you guess it? You're right, it's a mouse. Or maybe a mouse eating the insects in somebody's house. Let's see what animal's next. Who else do you think likes to eat bugs for lunch? Oh, do you know what this animal is? Look carefully. You might be a shrew, not just eating lunch, but snacking all day on bugs by the bunch. This is called a shrew. It likes to dig tunnels in your backyard. You know what this one is. That's right, it's a toad. You could be a toad zapping a fly with a flip of the tongue in a blink of an eye. Look at its really long tongue sticking out to catch that fly. Do you know what this animal is? Let's look at it. Have you ever seen one of those before? It's called a praying mantis. Or maybe a mantis ready to prey on any size insect that happens its way. What's this? You're right, it's a fish. You might be a trout at home in a brook looking for insects that aren't on a hook. Did you know that fish like to eat insects that are sitting on top of the water? What's this? You're right, it's a bear. You could be a bear. What do bears like to eat? I bet you know. You're right, they like to eat honey. You could be a bear searching for honey, but finding that bees taste just as yummy. Did you know that the bear doesn't mind eating the bees along with the honey? Here's a tricky animal. What do you think that is? Or maybe an aardvark. It's called an aardvark, whose tongue, long and sticky, slurps termites and ants that others think icky. It has this tongue that comes out and it slurps up those bugs and ants. You could be a plant that can't chase a fly, but just sits and waits for its food to drop by. Did you know that there are some plants that like to eat bugs too? This one right here is opening up its flower to catch that fly. It's going to go snap and eat that bug. If your lunch was a bug, you might be just you, munching on insects as some people do. Did you know that there are some people in the world that eat insects for lunch? It's just part of their normal routine. Just like you and I have a sandwich, they might munch on some bugs. Okay, boys and girls, that's the end of our story. I want you to tell me, what are you going to have for lunch today? After you eat lunch, draw a picture of what you ate and have Mom or Dad help you write the words. They can write them down and maybe you can copy them and write them too. Then don't forget to send me a picture of it. I also want you to go on a bug hunt outside. The next time it's nice outside, go in your backyard or ask Mom or Dad to take you for a walk and see how many different animals you can find outside that like to eat bugs for lunch. Or maybe you'll find some bugs too. Let's look again at our story and see what you might find outside in your backyard or on a walk. Here we go. Do you think you might find this animal out in your backyard or on a walk? Sure you could. I bet you'll see lots of birds on your walk. What about a spider? Do you think you'll find a spider on your walk or in your backyard? You might. Look carefully. What about a bat? Do you think you're going to find a bat? No, you won't find a bat. They like to sleep during the day. They don't want to come out unless it's nighttime. What about a gecko? Do you think you might find a gecko on your walk? Sure you might. They like to sit out on the rocks and soak up the warm sun. What about a mouse? Do you think you're going to see a mouse? There might be a mouse outside, but they are very fast and they like to hide, so you probably won't find one. Do you remember this animal? This animal is called a shrew. Remember, it likes to dig tunnels underground in your backyard. So unless you dig a tunnel and go underground too, you probably won't see one. What about this one? Do you think you'll find a toad? You might. I know I have a toad that likes to live in my wood pile in my backyard. See if you can find a toad. What about this one? This one is one of my favorite bugs. It's called a praying mantis. But be careful, they're tricky to find. Do you see its body? It looks like a leaf. So it likes to hide and pretend it's a leaf. So you have to look really carefully to find one of those. Maybe you'll get lucky and find one. What about this one? Do you think you'll find a fish on your walk? Only if you walk past a pond or a lake or have one of those in your backyard will you find a fish. You won't find a fish in your grass. What about a bear? Do you think you're going to find a bear on your walk? No, you won't find a bear living in your backyard. I sure hope not. What about this one? Do you remember this one was called an aardvark? An aardvark likes to eat those ants and termites. We don't have any aardvarks living around here. You probably won't see one of those. And do you remember this plant that likes to eat flies? I don't know if you have any of those in your backyard, but you can sure look for them. All right, and that's the end of our story. So don't forget, draw me a picture of what you had for lunch, and maybe Mom and Dad can help you write the words. And then, the next time it's nice outside, go on an adventure walk and look around in your backyard or around your block and see how many different animals or insects you can find. Maybe Mom or Dad could help you make a list, and when you get back, maybe you could draw your favorite one. Don't forget to have Mom or Dad take a picture of your drawings and send them to me. I can't wait to see what animals and insects you found. And I can't wait to hear about what you ate for lunch. Have a great day. Bye-bye.